We have been saying for a long time now that Trump is about to change everything for crypto. And I'm not just saying that he's going to change the rules or that in about 2 and a bit weeks, Gary Gensler is going to be leaving the office, Trump is going to come in. Both are different events. But anyway, in my book, this just starts an entirely new chapter for the crypto space. And a person that's got a similar opinion is a person that's quite close to my heart, Mr. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple. He himself just stated this: 2025 is here, and the Trump bull market is real. For Ripple, this is even more personal after Gensler's SEC effectively froze our business opportunities here at home for years. The optimism is obvious and very deserved. Now today, right? 75% of Ripple's open roles are now US-based, while over the last 4 years, the vast majority of hires were outside of the US. We also signed more US deals in the last 6 weeks of 2024 since the election than the previous 6 months. So for Ripple, and hopefully by that definition also for XRP, this is where things really start accelerating. Team Trump is already jump-starting innovation and job growth in the US with Scott Bessent, David Sachs, Paul Atkins, and others at the helm, and they aren't even in office yet. Say what you want, but the Trump effect is already making crypto great again. Through this campaign, or his campaign, and in the administration's Day 1 priorities, I just want to say this. Say what you want about Ripple, say what you want about XRP, but one thing that cannot be ignored is indeed the changes that are happening at the SEC and the new opportunities that will come for crypto innovation in the US. And by that definition, I think by that statement, many countries will follow suit. If the US all of a sudden wants to spearhead this technology, Russia's not going to stay behind. China is not going to fully stay behind. India is going to really be one of the first at the helm. And I kind of am thinking that regardless of how you see Trump, right, that's completely besides the point here. If we're talking about a crypto bull market, oh boy, is he bringing one in for us. I've stated for a long time, I think Trump is going to be one of the most bullish players for our industry. And I can't say that up front, in the sense that you don't really know how bullish he's going to be until he's in. He was a president before for many years while crypto was here, didn't do anything. But obviously the stakes have changed, right? The whole game has changed throughout this period. And I'm really quite excited for what it's about to bring. Now, I'll add a few things to it. One, right, the year ended up completely bullish, the last year. Even though the last weeks weren't necessarily that positive, as we can see. This week here, thus far, matter of fact, actually, today is the close of the week. And now that I'm thinking about it, in a few hours, the week is going to close. And this is going to be a very, very exciting one yet again, as right now the price is up significantly from the lowest point. Matter of fact, the lowest point was 91 and a bit thousand. Right now, we're sitting at like 98,000 or so. And it's actually also interesting that today, Bitcoin is up, again, some pretty good numbers, while generally speaking, the market, wait a minute. When we're looking at the numbers right here, it doesn't really show Bitcoin being up. In my head, it was up, though. I was going to say, a lot of coins are actually down a bit. XRP down 1.5, Solana 1.5, Dogecoin 2.6, Tron 2.8. Most coins here in this list were down. If you look it through here, you can see most coins in the top are down, except for Render, except for Mantle, a little bit. But it's kind of funny. That all of a sudden there's a little switcheroo that was happening. But the one thing I was actually trying to say is that I'm thinking Michael Saylor here might yet again in the very near term here announce that he's buying more Bitcoin yet again. Why am I saying that? Well, because all of a sudden he said, hey, something about a Saylor tracker is not quite right. And a few times he said, hey, this doesn't look green enough just quite yet. And then he announced another massive buy. And I'm kind of thinking, what if now indeed the Bitcoin price is doing so okay while alts are doing medium, because he's significantly buying Bitcoin, influencing the price in that regard also. And then the price falls, quote unquote, afterwards when he again announces that he's bought. Because right now things are back on the up and up, but what if that is again for a very short duration, just until he announces again that he's done buying? Because a few times now he's announced, hey, we just bought a ton of Bitcoin, and instantly the moment that was announced, the price fell. And so I sometimes now wonder, with all these announcements, right? What is exactly their effect? How much of an effect does Michael Saylor really have over it all? Their average price is still extremely low, and they've proven over time, even as you can see right here, that even if you just blast the top, if you just always keep on buying, you usually are fine. He started buying again when Bitcoin was going back down from the highest points back in 2021. And at that point, it looked really dumb for a little bit, right? At 17,000 or so, it looked really dumb. He bought at 60,000. But now that we're at $100,000, it looked quite smart to just buy at 50 some, because you never know if it's going to just blast through or start crumbling down more. So the best thing you can do in hindsight is just keep on buying, just keep on going. And they're increasing the average price by significant margins. I mean, just 2 months ago, the average price was just like around the $30,000, $40,000 mark. You can't see perfectly. I'll show you here. And all of a sudden now it's basically at the $70,000 mark. Almost, I think. Maybe we're getting close to it, 65,000 or something like that. But it does again prove the point that I always try to portray here, which is just, if you're afraid of trading crypto the way I often talk about it, the best thing I can always tell you is just think about it from a slightly longer term perspective, and you should be fine, right? For example, as we stated here, it could be nice to, for example, sell at some major psychological barriers. Here we got to about $2.50. Yeah, we got to 251-ish. What did I say just yesterday in my video? I said, hey, you know what? If you're looking for a point to sell, maybe sell at a psychological barrier, $2.50. And again, I didn't do it myself. I'm not saying this is the only way it could have worked. Because some people I notice, they go through the comments and just type, hey, Dusty, you're trying to claim you're a freaking genius and all that. Nope, never. Never trying to do that. Maybe if we get really lucky. All I'm saying is some of these things make sense. And if you're more afraid, more cautious, this is something you could do. It's always still a probability game, though. Meaning, I told you yesterday in the video, I said, hey, if you're a little bit afraid, you could try sell, for example, buy this dip at $2, try to sell at $2.50. This is a bigger swing and riskier because you never know if it's going to go all the way up there. But we've changed the trend from downwards to upwards. I described it yesterday. And this is a really interesting point to sell because it's a major psychological barrier. $2.50 is a really nice round number, let's just call it. I know it's not fully round, but you get the idea. 250, people like 250. Let's just put it like that. And so I said, well, that could be an interesting point to sell at. Again, did I know we're going to come back down from here? No. With the way the market was going, I kind of expected to actually keep pushing through. Was it now, in hindsight, kind of perfect? Yes, but it was mostly luck. Again, I can say, no, but we calculated. No, it's mostly a matter of, well, these are important resistances. Sometimes you get rejected off of them, which we got now. Sometimes you push through. And if you're more of a conservative in the sense that you're more risk averse, this could be a nice point to sell at. If you want to wing it, ring it till you, I don't even know what to say right there. You know, if you're more of a risk taker, then you don't necessarily have to sell right there. You could wait for, the market, as we obviously here switched around. We went from being bearish to right now bullish. You can try, for example, wait until we take out the previous top as well, 256, and just kind of wait for the next high, potentially after $2.90. Just you're basically waiting for the big move to happen, which hasn't happened yet. It's some bullish candles that we saw here, but nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. And again, it proves my point. If we zoom in a bit further, let's say 1 hour, for example, you can see that really, if you start selling it at major psychological barriers, 250, for example, you could have bought back at 233. Very, very significant discount if you start thinking about it, like 7-8% or so. It's fallen down from that top. And so if I think about it from the perspective of, I can always sell this for profit. It's only about, how low can I get my average price? Because you will always be able to sell it for more. At least in my opinion, that is so, not financial advice. And so that's what I always do. And that's why I always keep saying, if you're also looking for a platform to trade on, check out the links down below to either 𝗏𝗏 or 𝗬𝗏𝗃, whatever you like, but check it out. Links are down below. As, well, in my opinion, it's just sometimes pretty freaking easy. Not always, right? But sometimes it isn't. When it comes to XRP, the last few weeks have been extremely simple because it's mostly been up. And so really, I said this as well, right? If you just really quite religiously buy the dip, it's hard to lose. People say, yeah, but I don't care about your buts. If you religiously buy the dip with almost any coin to the top of the top, since we're such a bullish market, you almost can't lose. And that's why a lot of people think they're genius traders or something like that, and they go into a bear market and lose everything. But generally speaking, in this market, it is hard to lose. If you are losing, it's kind of up to you. You're doing something wrong because it's really, really quite hard. Maybe you're over leveraged. I don't know. But as of this point, since everything keeps going up day in, day out, we just buy dips. Some people, for example, they try to buy the entire top 100 whenever it goes down, for example, 10, 15, 20%, whatever. Or maybe if it goes down like 10% throughout the day, they try to buy it because they know it'll flip back around because most of these coins do. For example, virtuals, Fartcoin, whatever. If it comes down a lot, not financial advice, right? You can always just, for example, just buy them because they'll come back up. And it goes for almost anything here in crazy, crazy bull markets. There's a probability that we get another flash crash. We start falling from here until never return, so to speak. But when looking at the previous numbers and you really start thinking about it, it's always only on the short term. Just wanted to quickly make that clear. Trump right now is looking to make things really, really bullish for us in the short term. He isn't even in office yet. And I'm not saying that cryptos will survive throughout the massive, just absolute crash everywhere. I'm not saying that that's what I'm preparing for right now, or that even in that scenario will only be going up. I'm just saying right now, with the way the market has been going, this is, I think, one of the best strategies. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on the matter. Just wanted to quickly share the whole Trump thing, though. Think about it. It's not even in office yet. There could be some interesting policy announcements the moment he starts. And so selling before that, it might be a bit of a buy the rumor, sell the news, but I think we can't really expect him to say anything crazy just quite yet. And he really can't disappoint too much unless he all of a sudden says, I don't want to do anything with crypto. But knowing him from what we've seen in public displays, statements and stuff, he's going to embrace the crap out of crypto. So yeah, some cool stuff could be coming here. It could be coming as soon as 2 weeks. Same for Gary Gensler. He's going to be leaving, I think, January 22nd, something like that. 2 weeks, something like that. So you guys are getting another crypto video soon.